Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Two Moms and Some Labels. Two Moms and Some Labels is a platform for families and parents taking care of a child with a disability to come together in a shared space to network, commune, and just share and gain ideas on how to persevere through challenging times. My name is Brittany.
And I'm Nicole.
And it is 2024. Oh my gosh.
Can you believe it?
Woo! But give yourself a pat on the back first before we go any further because moms, dads, caregivers, you have made it through another year with your child with a disability. And you have learned how to overcome challenges and learn how to self-care and just stop and take the time to breathe so that you can get through to the next day or the next year, whatever it may be. We're here now, 2024. And we all know that we like to set goals and resolutions, things that we would like to accomplish for the next year. And so on this episode, we just want to talk about bringing in this new year, making this year the year of self-care, self-love, and just, giving yourself that, again, pat on the back for being an awesome parent, making it through, handling everything that you have to handle with your child with special needs and still fighting through for yourself. So, today, we just want to talk about some of the things that you can do to prepare or set more goals for yourself, or just make this year a flowful year and non-stressful as possible. And we know as parents of children with special needs, things just come up out of nowhere sometimes. Things happen, but we want to just figure out a way to be able to get through those times without being so stressed, and just finding alternative ways to get through those challenging times.
Yes, yes. So I know we talked about goals and everything like that. I have placed a goal on myself for 2024, a financial goal to stop spending money. Um, Sometimes it's easier just to pick up food, especially when it's just me and my son in the house. So he's G tube fed. So it's easier sometimes after working all day for me to just pick up not the best choice of food and then come home and mix his food and give him his G tube food. So one of my goals is definitely to cut down on eating out, eating more vegetables and fruit, and dropping some weight for 2024. Do you have some goals that you would like to share?
Well, before even talking about my goals, I want to piggyback off of what you just said because I was just doing my planner for this year, starting my planner, and it has different sections on the different goals that you want to accomplish: financial, mental, self care, and things like that. And I was definitely like, financial, I need to spend less money. And I definitely agree with you about it's easier to just stop and get this fast food or something quick to put in the microwave or the oven or something and eat that really quick so that you can be able to take care of your child's needs. Because I know I get to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already like 5 o'clock and I need to take care of the other kids. I got this and that to do. And when I get home, I got to change it up. I got to get her medicine. I got to get her food. I'm like, I have this long list of things I have to do. So I'm like, it's easier for me to just eat in the car on my way home so that I can just jump into whatever it is that I need to do with Ayana. And it has led to unhealthy eating habits and weight gain and then stress on top of that. And that is definitely something that I want to change, for myself as well, and not just quick pick up something because it's quick and easy when I know that it's not the best for me, because I just don't want to stop and take the time out to sit down and cook and eat healthy. So that is definitely one of my goals. for the year, and I'm horrible at meal prepping. I have tried it before, and then I was like, I'll just pay somebody and do that, but then you end up spending more money that way too. And I was like, maybe I should try the HelloFresh thing, but then I'm like, I have to do a HelloFresh for myself and then cook a meal for the rest of my family. So what's the point of that? So
Right.
yeah, now I'm just kind of like, okay, well, if I'm going to be on a diet or trying to eat better, then maybe the whole family needs to eat
Mhm.
better too. So whatever I cook, you're either going to eat it or I don't know what you're going to do. It's
Right.
going to be PB&J or turkey and cheese or something. I don't know.
Right.
We're
Yes.
all going to make some changes for the new year.
I know. Because we have to think about too, like a lot hit me this year. You know, this is my last year in my 30s, so I'll be turning 40 this year. And I'm just like, with the care Lorenzo requires, I want to make sure I'm here to provide that care. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm horrible at meal prepping. I mean, if I meal prep, either I'm still not going to eat it because I'd be like, oh, that's leftover. I don't really want that. After two
Yeah.
days, I'm like, oh, I don't want that. And then, or if I meal prep something good, it'll be my breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, all in the same day, and the food will be gone. So I'm horrible at that. So I've been looking on Pinterest and different things for like quick recipes. Um, so we'll see how that goes. And I did we're gonna be going to the gym, so that's gonna be something we're gonna add.
Okay.
Um, but still it's like you said, you got to get the feeding, the diapers, medicine. You're doing all that, bath. At night, we have to do trait care. So, and then we have to time our trait care with his food because he'll aspirate. So it's just like making sure that is all on schedule and he gets enough rest. But I know this year I really have to focus on me and my health just so I can be healthy to be here for my baby. So that's really what's got me moving this way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think about that too because I do have to lift my child every day. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I have to be in some kind of shape
that's
to
true.
be able to, maneuver her around wherever it is that she needs to go so that we can get to our destinations. So definitely, I'm like, I have to make sure that I stay healthy, stay in somewhat kind of fit shape to be able to do the lifting and things like that. So
True. Yeah.
that is definitely a goal for me to change more of my eating habits and not, try to rush and say I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and not think about what I have to do and just go with the flow.
Right, right. And that's
Yeah.
what school starts back next Tuesday. And I really said, we're gonna do more of going with the flow. We all know as being special needs parents, a child with disability, we are scheduled everything. And if you move off a schedule, you feel like, oh my God, my whole day is ruined. Even on when Saturdays, everything is planned around, okay, well, we got to be here so we can eat. He can eat.
Mhm.
Then we need to be somewhere too where I can change him. Um, so those things, and it's a lot of things that we don't do. And I have to just be okay with, okay, if his food is 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late, it is not going to throw off the
Yeah.
whole day. And that's where sometimes I would panic. I would be like, no, we have to have this at this time, this time, this time, this time, and it would just be overwhelming. So this year we're going to go more with the flow. I did go ahead and I have a car bag now that has syringes, formula, and just different things in case we're out and about or whatever. But I do want to experience going with the flow and kind of bringing some as much normalcy into our life as possible instead of so schedule oriented. You have your appointments are on schedules, your therapies are on schedule, everything is on schedule. Where some days you want to just, breathe and, yeah, I do miss cooking, but sometimes I'm too tired too to cook, and it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, not tonight. It was easier for me to drive through somewhere or DoorDash, and we all know DoorDash is
Pricey.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It is. You'd be like,
Yeah.
dang, and $40 for one person. Ooh, that's not good. But that's the trap we fall in, being a special needs, parent. We just sometimes we have to go the easy route because we're so exhausted, especially neither one of us have nursing care.
Yeah.
So we are the nurses,
Right.
so we don't get that good deep sleep. We don't get
Okay.
we still have to have that ear open and just for an alarm to go off or anything like that. So yeah, sometimes it's easier. Like I tell myself, okay, I'm not going to become one with the couch this year. Like it was me coming home from work and boom, that couch in me. I just my blanket in the couch. But I said not this year. So we'll see. We gonna
Yeah.
do it. We gonna do it.
Yeah. And then that's good that you mentioned about the feeding. If you're late 20 or 30 minutes, sometimes I have to sit back and think and be like, okay, hold on. My child, she is human, a person just like me. So if I miss lunch or if I miss one meal during the day or if I'm late, I'm not going to I'm not
Mhm.
going to die. I'm not, nothing's going to happen to me because I was an hour late eating or 30
Right.
minutes late eating or I missed lunch. So I, need to remember that and not be
Right.
so hard on myself because we're human, things happen, and we just have to go with the flow.
Right.
So she will get her food and
Mhm.
she's going to eat. She's not going to lose 20 pounds from missing one meal during the day or being late 30 minutes.
Or be dehydrated. All this kind of
Yeah.
that goes
So,
through your mind.
those are things that I have to sit and think about too when we're out and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up and get home because she has to hurry up and eat, or the
Right.
food is at a good temperature and I need to get it at the temperature it needs to be. And just thinking about all those different components
Yeah.
that go in with the feeding schedule and things like that. So that's definitely something that I've started like, it's okay. The nutritionist might have said this, but I know my child and she's moved up a pant size. So she's definitely not
Good,
losing
right?
any weight. So she
Right.
is just fine. I'm taking great care of her. So you
And
don't
you
have to
pointed
worry
out a
about.
good point. That's true. We sometimes, lunch is not always at 12 for us. I
Yeah.
mean, so and they're gonna be okay. And we have to think typical kids don't eat on schedule like that. As long as our children are getting the nutrients they need. Now I
Mhm.
wouldn't say miss a bunch of I wouldn't
Right. Yeah.
crazy with it, but it's about not just stressing yourself out and overwhelming yourself. If you guys are on a trip and you have maybe a 30-minute more, drive,
Hmm.
don't have to pull over right then and there. Wait till you guys get to your destination. I
Yeah.
used to be like, oh my goodness, if he doesn't eat this time, he's gonna be dehydrated. We're not gonna get the urine. We're not gonna. And I'm running myself crazy as I'm not even feeding myself.
Yeah.
I'm not intaking enough fluids throughout the day. And that's another thing. I have to make sure I get my fluids in, and then I don't know if you sometimes do this, but I'll notice myself not drinking as many fluids while I'm out because of bathroom issues.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
Taking
Definitely.
Lorenzo in the bathroom. I mean,
Definitely.
it's just so I want to be able to do that more as well.
Yeah.
Get my fluids in, and that's just something. It's just a hard thing, but
I know, it's like, so are you supposed to be okay with saying, okay, I'm gonna have to find somewhere to stop at and go to the bathroom so that I can make sure that I'm getting my fluids? Because I remember it used to be a problem for me when I was doing training and they're like, oh, you need to drink X amount of waters a day or what have you. And I'm like, I cannot, especially because I was doing a driving job also on top of driving my own child
uh-huh.
and children to and from wherever. And I'm like, there's no bathroom, or I have to stop at a gas station and go to the bathroom if I drink all of this water at all the times that you're telling me to drink water. And so at one point I started like bringing my own roll of toilet paper and keeping it in a like Ziploc bag in my car, and like Lysol wipes and spray or whatever, especially during the COVID time that was. But it's like you do need to get your hydration. And because a lot of times I do find myself at night, like when I get home, just guzzling a whole bunch of water because I know I haven't drank what I needed to drink during the day. So it is trying to find that balance and being like, okay, where am I going today? Am I going to have the opportunity to stop somewhere that's a decent place to go to the bathroom if I want to get my water intake in? So maybe that's how I need to start looking at it too, and trying to plan my day that way, seeing how I can get my water in, and if I'm gonna come across places that are decent to go in to use the bathroom.
Right, right. And it's crazy because um if we're going out for a long time, I'm thankful my mom is with me, so we'll take turns going, because certain places it's not conducive to bring Lorenzo in, because we gonna cause a scene. If it's overstimulating for him. Like he can go in Walmart, but he doesn't realize we have to put him in the basket and have his tablet so he's focused on that, and not everything around him. So and then having to stop to go to the restroom at different places, making sure he doesn't touch stuff, making sure it's not the most disgusting place and everything like that. So that's the only problem I have. And then of course, because he's a boy, and then he's 6, so bringing him into the restroom, we do get the looks and stuff like that, and I'm telling him to turn around, and he's, it's just craziness. But that's something that I also have to be mindful of too. And then two, he has a habit, like sometimes we're synced together. Um, and if he has to go to the bathroom, where do I change him at? Is one of my biggest things. So we try really not to leave the house until after he eats lunch, because that's usually when we'll have the number 2 movement. Because I have had to change him just standing up, and oh my God, it's so difficult. So if you guys know any people in the city council, please fight for adult changing tables in restrooms, in women's restrooms, or a family restroom. Because it is, ooh, do you have to change her in her chair sometimes?
So I have changed her in her chair maybe a handful of times when I couldn't get to a bathroom, but most of the time I feel like that's why I kind of limit how long I stay out or where I go to, because I'm like, okay, we want to do this activity, but I can only stay for 2 hours because I need to be able to go and change her diaper. So that's definitely something. But there was a bill, and we did a bill a couple years ago with the city council to ask them for adult changing tables in businesses. And I believe it was, if a business is built before a certain time, then they don't have to have the changing table. But any newer buildings being built, that they're supposed to like have some accessible changing tables for families. But that's definitely not something I think a lot of businesses do keep in mind, is the ADA accessibility for families. They are just thinking about the regular baby changing tables. And unfortunately, kids do not stay babies forever, and they grow. And so making a space where there's room for that is probably difficult for a lot of businesses to be able to do that. But maybe at a gas station or something, they should think about doing that. Or I don't know, building just different building bathroom spots throughout the city that's like dedicated to changing people solely, going to the bathroom and changing people only. I think that would be a good idea.
If they had one, especially like here in Jacksonville, kind of on each side of town, and you knew to
Yeah.
like kind of plan your stuff, maybe kind of close proximity to that. Because it does interrupt your family outings, going
Mhm.
to family functions, and just being around people. I know this year too, I was saying I was going to focus on more of getting out and around family more. What I've realized over these last 6, 7 years, um, we have been very isolated.
Mhm.
I don't want to. COVID had a lot to do with it, but just when he first came home, he was on a ventilator, and I was like, we ain't going nowhere but to therapy.
Yeah.
Um, and now it's easier to just sometimes stay home because that's his comfort spot.
Yeah.
That's where he can be himself without any, judge free zone, I like to say. But I did say I was going to bring him around more family because he is an only child, and I do want his cousins and stuff to understand more of a person with a disability. And then I want hate to say it this way, his security, so they can protect him and keep him safe and everything like that. And I just want, I mean, when we do go around, they're very good with him. Very, very, very good with him. He has three older boy cousins that are really, really good. But I just need him to build that bond with others because he doesn't
Yeah.
really connect well with others. So I said, and my cousins always say, "It's your fault. It's you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I need to do better." So I said, this year if we're invited to family functions, we're gonna go. We
That's
are.
good.
We're
Yeah.
gonna y'all gonna figure out how we gonna do it. I might have to bring some oxygen tanks, might have to bring, this, that, and the other. We might disappear in a room for a good hour or two, but
Mhm.
we'll be there. So
Yeah. That's good. I think that's definitely needed for all family members, all people to have some education,
mhm,
some exposure to people with disabilities or just people different than themselves so that they can be able to have that empathy for others and just know how to be a good person.
mhm,
And I know also too a goal that I have is just to try to travel more to get out a little bit more too. And I mean, Ayana, she has been doing so well with ABA. It has made such a
wow,
big difference in her behavior
okay,
because before we could not go out anywhere for longer than 30 minutes. I felt like being in the car without her screaming or yelling. It was not very, very good. So now we're able to go places for the most part, and she does pretty good. Like we went to
that's awesome.
Disney on Sunday, or actually we went to Orlando on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and we went to Disney. And I came back and I was like, man, Ayana was the best behaved child out of my three children the whole time.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
It-
So like we have to start getting out more, and she loves being outdoors anyways. So
okay.
that is one
Okay.
of our goals for this year.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
she's turning 14 this year.
No, she'll be turning 15 this year.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
right. She just had a birth.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ABA therapy helps her adjust to different environments.
To adjust to different environments, to just learn how to kind of like waiting times, kind of learn how to
Oh,
be patient.
okay.
And it's a lot of like waiting your turn, my turn, letting other people be able to do things that they want to do without it's about me. I want mine. I just want to,
Right, right.
so
So
it
how long
helped
has she been doing it?
for about 5 years.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And you saw a real big difference when you guys were at Disney. She was.
Yeah.
That is
So, I mean, the past couple of trips that we've had, because we've actually had a couple trips, she's been really good. I would say she's been the best child
oh
out of,
good.
yeah.
That is good.
So, yeah, it's been working good. And then also, too, we were talking about self care for the new year and, our mental health.
Yeah.
Just I know how it can get when you have appointments and things for your child, especially it's the new year. I'm sure you probably have a list of appointments for the year that you need to attend or make or things like that. And I just want to tell, the viewers, our parents and caregivers, if you have an appointment or you are scheduled, you're due for your 6-month follow up, your yearly follow up, it is not life. If it's not life or death, please do not stress yourself over it. I remember I used to be like, I have to have an appointment at this time because that's when they said that it had to be by. And if I don't do this, then something might happen. Nothing, nothing's going to happen. Nothing happened. If it's not life or death, I've learned how to just schedule it when I can schedule it. Schedule it when it's on my time, not when it's on the doctor's time, or I feel like, my child's time, when it's on my time and I can do it and I'm not
Mhm.
scrambling between other appointments or things I need to do for myself or my other kids, then I can make the appointment. So if it's not life or death, then I encourage you guys to take the time to look at your calendar and plan and make a date where you're not going to be stressed about an appointment, taking your child to and from an appointment, because that's one less thing that you should have to be worried about. You don't need to be worried about if I need to make this appointment at the 6-month mark. If you don't make it at the 6-month mark, it is going to be okay. I guarantee it. Unless your child has, a different type of condition where they need to see specialists every, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, or on the dot, at the dot of the time that the appointment needs to be made, then that's different. But if your child is pretty healthy, they're doing pretty well, and you're not going to the doctor a lot for sicknesses and things like that, then I just encourage you to make the appointments when you can.
Yeah.
So one
Definitely
less thing that you will have to stress about.
correct. And then also be okay with if you have to reschedule. If it's not a life or death situation, don't stress yourself out. If transportation, whatever the situation, it's okay. Reschedule 48, 24 hours. Most doctors' offices have a wait list, and trust me, they will fill that slot. Trust me. And then also, if you have to give yourself some grace right now because a lot of areas are scheduling out so far. There is a
Mhm.
shortage with doctors, nurses,
Therapists.
there is a shortage. So give yourself some grace. I know behavioral health is almost booking now 8 months. Um Eye doctors are booking out about 2 to 3 months. So I mean, things are you can't control everything. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes as a mom of a special needs child or child with disabilities, we're so used to how we were speaking about earlier, schedule, schedule, schedule. And I think, a lot of times we have to just focus this year and moving forward, like Brittany said, if it's not life or death, and if it's life or death, you're probably going to be going to the ER. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I don't even think you're going to be worried about calling the doctor's appointment. And we have technology today. Utilize, message in the portals and stuff
Yeah.
like that to find out, is it even necessary? Um, Now, some people you have to do a monthly weight check. I get it. You have to be seen every so many months because maybe your child is being prescribed narcotics or something.
Right.
I
Yeah.
get it. But get your appointment when you're leaving. If they say, oh, you can call in for appointment, get it at that desk. Take that extra 2 to 3 minutes. get that appointment so then you're done with it. Put it in
Mhm.
your calendar and you don't have to worry about it. I'm the type where I will not leave the doctor. They'll be like, oh, you can call in. No, 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 no. I'm here now. We're gonna go ahead and schedule because I'm here. So I'm gonna take advantage of my time being here because if I go out to the car and call, I'm gonna have to be put on hold. It's just so much. And then I already have the appointment and we're done. And if it's a month follow up, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, that's what it is. So it's okay if you have to reschedule. It's like, Brittany said, if it's not life or death, and if it's life or death, most likely you're at somebody's ER by then. um don't stress it. We're gonna enjoy 2024. We are not gonna stress and different things. And if it is where the doctor's like, no, you need to be in by this, the doctor will do a doctor to doctor call to get you worked in. It's still nothing that you need to be stressing about. I know a lot of parents right now are also stressing about supplies. There's some back orders. People are trying to find different diapers. It's just a lot going on. Plan ahead, be prepared, but don't stress about it. I think that's another thing too, to kind of just plan ahead. I know for me, for his medical supplies, I have an alert in my phone when
Yeah.
to start calling and stuff like that, because something's honestly with our order, something's always on back order. So I have to call, email every month with the new company we're with, which is just another headache. But I just do it with a grain of salt. And I personally will let people know, hey, can I email you? Because that works best for me instead of
Yeah.
phone calls.
Yeah, I keep a reminder in my phone also. And then one thing that I have learned too, especially what you're talking about the shortages, is that I used to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot have all these supplies in the house. I have nowhere to put them. And it's just like cluttery, less clustery to me. And I don't want it just sitting around. No, I have made sure that I start, even though I might have diapers left over from the last month's order, I'm going to still get the full amount of the
Mhm.
next month's order, because you never know when there can be a shortage, or when your child becomes 18 or 21 and they are not being covered by the insurance anymore for the supplies. I have a surplus of stuff that I have kept. So those are things that you can think about as well when you are ordering your supplies, is to don't say you don't want something for the month. Get whatever you can get. Your insurance is paying for it. You take whatever is supposed to come for that month and find somewhere or somehow to store those supplies, so that you can be able to have something in case something were to happen, as far as a shortage goes.
And that's definitely for, I know my trach moms. You were supposed to every so many months get a brand new trach, up the same size and down size. And then I personally, every time we change the G tube, I order a new one. I'm like, yeah, we need a new one. Um, Syringes, because that rubber can, things that you think of, oh, they send so many of them, I'm not going to need it. That rubber start, you never know. I used to be like, oh, I don't need skip a month of neb kits. That's when I learned my lesson. Never again, because that was the times that Lorenzo got so sick. He needed breathing treatments every 2 to 3 hours. Then the neb kits were on. No, it was like a Friday. The on call didn't answer, and then we find out Monday the neb kits are on back order, and they're probably not going to be able to get any. So we had to have. It was just a big mix. So I said, never again will I say. And I was like, well, just send me the neb kits I was supposed to have last month. They were like, oh, we,
You
we.
can't do that. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So that's something that you have to think about. And I mean, our garage, Lorenzo's closet is, and he has a bookshelf for his daily supplies. But yeah, you really have to. And then
Mhm.
that also takes the stress off, because when something is backward, you're like, oh, okay, well, I have, you're not as
Yeah.
stressed. Because we see it on Facebook, different groups. Does anyone have this? Does anyone? Because either, a parent, honestly, things happen, slip their mind to order, or the place is in back order.
Yeah, or I mean, or if they don't have the insurance to cover it,
Yeah.
or the insurance won't cover it until, whatever date. So just keeping that in mind. And then also too, making sure to give yourself a break and take time out to attend to your mental health. So if your child is able to go to a PPEC, then I suggest that you go and explore the PPAC, take a tour, ask for a meeting, excuse me, whatever it is that you need to do to understand what the PPAC is or what kind of services or care they're going to be providing for your child there. They offer transportation to and from. There's therapy at the PPAC also. So it's okay if you let your child go for a couple hours so that you can even just sit at home and write or read or watch TV or sit outside on your porch. It's okay to take some time to yourself,
Yeah.
so that you can have that break.
Especially if you're, there's a nursing shortage. So especially if, it's overwhelming to be the nurse during the day and at night, there's no PPEC at night. So you can go during the day, get yourself together. You can go ahead and cook your healthy meals. You can do what you need to do, to prepare. And even like, like Brittany said, even if your child only goes 2 to 3 days a week, they can go there to get their therapies. um they can have a couple of their meals, and then they'll get the interaction, and you can go have mommy time with friends, or you can sit at home, whatever you need to do at that time. um just take a chance and look at it. You won't know until you look at it.
Yeah.
Lorenzo went to a PPAC for, I think, about 3-4 years. And I mean, of course, with any daycare, you're gonna have, your ups and downs. But honestly, it was like a fresher breath air. Even though I was at work, it was still a fresher breath air, because on my days off, Lorenzo still went to the PPEC, and ooh, it was great. Had my massage, got my nails done, my feet done. Sometimes got my hair done. But yes, yes, look into it, Hunty. Yes, I would say.
Yeah.
hmm Focus on your
Yeah.
mental health.
Yeah. And what was I going to say? I was going to say, go look into the PPAC, and then also, as far as setting goals go, make sure that you set some goals for yourself. Things that you want to accomplish or see change or do differently. It doesn't have to be a long list. It can be a short list. You don't have to accomplish everything. Even if you accomplish only one of the goals that you have wrote down for the year, that quarter, that month, whatever it may be, that is okay. It's okay.
hmm
So, just know that it's okay. Write down things that you want to do and then try your best to accomplish them. That's all that you can do. And you can't stress over it. There's no need to stress about it. So,
And then, like
that's,
you said, you made it to 2024. Like Brittany said earlier, pat yourself on the back. And, while you're writing down your goals, also write down what you're grateful and thankful for. It's a lot that we don't realize that we
yeah.
do accomplish, because we're so busy in it, that
Yeah.
sometimes we have to step out and be like,
Hmm.
whoa, okay, I did take my child to, I mean, 110 appointments in a year. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And you might be stressing about those two you missed, or even 5 or 10, but look how many you showed up to.
Yeah.
Therapies, school, whatever. Just imagine how. And we understand getting your child dressed, making sure they have all the equipment and supply. It's not easy. So anything that you have done to get your child out the house, yeah, that's that right there. I mean, yeah. So write down your personal goals, but just know that as a caregiver and a parent, you already rock,
Yeah.
because we're here at 2024. We've accomplished so much in 2023. Yes, we want to do more for our personal mental health, physical, and emotional health, but just remember what you have done. The nights you didn't have a nurse and your child is good. The foods, making sure they got their medicine, going to the pharmacy, having it delivered, whatever, all that in your calendar. If you have a 2023 calendar that you write down your kids' stuff, go back and look at it and be like, dang, I was
Right.
busy, but I did it.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh wow. And then you'll continue to do it this year. I mean, I
Yeah.
just want you to focus more on yourself. I know I'm focusing more on myself this year. But I mean, we rocked it out in 2023 as
Yeah.
parents and caregivers. When you really think about it, like, it's not easy to get to those appointments on time. I mean, keeping up with the food schedule, making sure they get enough calories, making sure mLs, making sure it doesn't go too fast. I mean, all that kind of stuff, man. We
Okay.
did.
Yep.
Hmm.
Picking up prescriptions and things like that. So
Yeah.
you did it. We did it. And make sure to, when you have time, set some goals if you haven't already.
Hmm.
Again, like Nicole said, go back and look at what you have accomplished. Step back and look and see what you have done. Even though it may not seem major to some people, it should be major to you because you are here in 2024. Your child is healthy and here, and you are moving forward into the new year.
Right.
So
Right.
make sure to take some time out at least once a day for 5 minutes, maybe once a week, however you can take the time out to yourself, and just reflect upon your day, your visions, your goals, and see how the next day can be better, or the next week, or the next month. And, just take it one day at a time. And our motto is go with the flow. Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure that you just go with the flow. That's
Mhm.
all you can do.
Yeah.
Um,
It's gonna work out. Hmm.
yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Two Moms and Some Labels. And until next time, we will see you all. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you. Bye.